I tell every patient who walks into my office the same thing. Your cholesterol number is not the problem. Something in your kitchen is turning that cholesterol into a weapon. And until you remove it, no statin on earth will protect your artery walls. 8 out of 10 of my patients had the same item sitting next to their stove. A bottle they had been using for decades. A bottle their doctor told them to buy. A bottle with a heart on the label. And when we removed it, their artery damage markers dropped within 2 weeks. Not from a new drug, from removing one bottle. That bottle is almost certainly in your kitchen right now. What that bottle does to your arteries will change the way you think about every meal you have cooked in the last 30 years. Cardiology took 40 years to figure out one thing. Without this one piece of science, throwing away the bottle makes no sense. And I need it to make sense so deeply that you never bring it back. Your doctor measures your cholesterol with a blood test. Total cholesterol, LDL, HDL. You get a number. If the number is low, your doctor says you are doing great. If it is high, they put you on a statin. The entire system is built around that number. But that number is hiding something. It tells you how much cholesterol is in your blood. It does not tell you what condition that cholesterol is in. Cholesterol comes in 2 states, clean and poisoned. Clean cholesterol floats through your blood doing its job. Your immune system leaves it alone. It can bump against your artery wall and nothing happens. It is neutral. Poisoned cholesterol is the same particle, but something has chemically changed it. Something has grabbed onto it and mutated it. The moment it touches your artery wall, your immune system registers it as a threat. The artery lining dies on contact. Gaps open. The poisoned particle floods inside. White blood cells rush in to eat it. The white blood cells die. They burst. Dead cells pile on dead cells, year after year. That pile is plaque. That plaque is what narrows your arteries. That plaque is what causes heart attacks. If you have been told your cholesterol is normal, but your calcium score keeps climbing, this is why. Your total number is fine, but a percentage of that number is poisoned. And poisoned cholesterol builds plaque 100 times faster than clean cholesterol. Your statin lowers the total amount. Fewer particles in the blood means fewer chances for damage. That is good. Keep taking it. But the statin does nothing to stop the poisoning. The particles that remain can still be turned toxic. And if they are, a low LDL of 85 can behave like a high LDL of 300 inside your artery wall. Patients with the highest levels of poisoned cholesterol have 3 to 4 times the risk of heart disease compared to patients with the lowest levels. Same total number, completely different risk. The difference is not how much cholesterol you have. It is how much of it has been poisoned. So what poisons it? Something in your kitchen. Something you heat up every time you cook. Something that creates a toxic chemical the moment it hits a hot skillet. That chemical enters your blood within hours of eating. It physically grabs onto your cholesterol particles and mutates them from clean to poisoned. One meal at a time, one breakfast at a time, for 20 or 30 years. If your doctor has never mentioned this, it is not because the science is new. It is because the science contradicts the advice they gave you in 1990. And that is a hard thing for any profession to walk back. A woman named Shirley cooked with this item every Sunday for 20 years. She thought she was protecting her family. The label said cholesterol-free. It had a red heart on it. Her doctor told her to buy it in 1992 when her husband had his first heart scare. What happened to her heart at age 71 will explain why this matters more than any cholesterol number on any blood test. The item is the clear plastic bottle of cooking oil sitting next to your stove. Vegetable oil, soybean oil, corn oil. The yellow oil in the jug you have been buying for years. Wesson, Crisco, Mazola, the store brand. It contains 0 cholesterol. The label is not lying about that. But what it does is worse than containing cholesterol. It turns the cholesterol already in your blood into something toxic. The fat in this oil has a specific chemical structure. It contains multiple weak points along the chain. Think of it like a bridge with several cracked sections. At room temperature, the bridge holds. Traffic flows. No problem. The moment you pour this oil into a hot skillet, the heat hits those cracked sections and snaps them. The bridge collapses. The fat molecule breaks apart. And what forms in its place is not fat anymore. It is a toxic chemical, a poison that exists only when this specific type of oil is heated. It is invisible, tasteless, odorless, but it is in every bite of food that comes out of that skillet. When you eat the food, you eat the poison. It survives your stomach acid. It passes through your intestinal wall. It enters your bloodstream within hours of the meal. In your blood, the toxic chemical finds a cholesterol particle, a normal, harmless particle doing its job. It physically attaches to the particle and changes its chemical signature. The particle goes from clean to poisoned in seconds. Now your immune system sees it as an invader. The artery wall reacts. The lining cells die. Gaps open. The poisoned particle floods in. White blood cells come to eat it. They die. The pile grows. This is happening right now inside the arteries of every senior who heated that oil for breakfast this morning. If you have ever felt a tightness in your chest climbing stairs that your doctor blamed on anxiety, this might be why. The poison from heated cooking oil does not just build plaque in the big arteries. It destroys the lining of the microscopic blood vessels deep inside the heart muscle. Vessels too small to see on any scan. These tiny vessels lose the ability to open when your heart needs oxygen. Your heart suffocates during exertion. You feel crushing pressure. Your doctor runs every test. Everything looks normal, because the damage is too small to see. Shirley felt this for 2 years. Her cardiologist ran an EKG, normal. A stress test, slightly off. They injected dye into her heart. The main arteries were wide open. LDL was 88. The doctor said, "Shirley, you are fine. This is probably anxiety." Shirley looked at her daughter. "I know my own body. I am not anxious. My heart is starving. Why will nobody believe me?" She was right. 20 years of heating that oil had destroyed the microscopic vessels feeding her heart muscle. They could not open. Every time she climbed stairs, carried laundry, or bent down to pick up her grandson's toys, her heart suffocated at a level no camera could detect. She stopped getting on the floor with her 5-year-old grandson, Leo. She sat in the armchair, watched him play from above, rubbing her chest, afraid. The poison does one more thing that connects to your blood pressure. Every blood vessel in your body has a tiny factory inside its lining. That factory produces a gas that keeps the vessel relaxed and open. Without that gas, the vessel clamps shut and stays shut. The toxic chemical from heated cooking oil walks into that factory and permanently shuts it down. The vessel can no longer produce the gas. It can no longer relax. It stays clenched. If you have high blood pressure that will not come down despite medication, this could be why. Your pills are designed to relax arteries. But if the factory that produces the relaxation gas has been destroyed, the pills have nothing to work with. You are asking a machine to run that no longer has an engine. Shirley's tiny heart vessels lost their factories. That is why she felt the crushing pressure. That is why no test found the problem. The big arteries were fine. The tiny ones were permanently shut down. Now, the study that should make you angry. In the 1960s, researchers followed 458 men with heart disease. Half replaced their animal fats with the exact type of cooking oil your doctor told you to buy. The other half kept eating what they were eating. The group that switched to the cooking oil had a 74% higher relative risk of dying from heart disease. Not lower, higher. The oil that was supposed to save them accelerated the very damage it was meant to prevent. This data was buried. The original results were not published until researchers recovered them in 2013 and published them in the British Medical Journal. By that time, 2 generations of families had already filled their kitchens with that oil because their doctors said it was safe. You were not wrong to listen. Your doctor was not wrong to worry about your cholesterol. But the advice was based on one idea. If the oil has no cholesterol, it must be safe for your arteries. That idea missed the poisoning process entirely. The oil has no cholesterol, but it poisons the cholesterol you already have. That distinction was not understood when the advice was given. It is understood now. The replacement takes 5 minutes. Throw away the clear plastic bottle. Replace it with cold-pressed avocado oil in a dark glass bottle for all high-heat cooking. Replace it with extra virgin olive oil in a dark glass bottle for everything else. Avocado oil has a different structure. Instead of multiple weak points that snap when heated, it has one single point. Heat cannot break it. You can cook with avocado oil at 500 degrees, and it does not form the poison. Your food cooks the same. Your cholesterol stays clean. Researchers tested this directly. They heated different oils to frying temperature and measured what formed. The oils with many weak points, soybean, sunflower, corn, generated massive amounts of the toxic chemical within minutes. The oils with few weak points, olive oil and avocado oil, generated virtually none. Same temperature, same skillet, completely different chemistry. A 7-year study followed over 1,000 patients with heart disease. Half followed a standard low-fat diet. Half ate a diet built around the same stable fats found in avocado and olive oil. After 7 years, the stable fat group had a 28% lower risk of heart attacks, strokes, and cardiovascular death. In men, 33% lower. From changing the type of fat, not the amount. The dark glass matters. Light breaks down oil the same way heat does, just slower. A clear plastic bottle on a lit counter is slowly degrading before you open it. Dark glass blocks the light. Buy dark glass. Store it away from the stove. If you buy avocado oil, read the label carefully. It must say cold-pressed or expeller-pressed. Many cheap brands are blended with soybean oil and labeled misleadingly. If the price is surprisingly low, it is probably not pure. A real bottle costs more than the plastic jug. The jug costs you your arteries. If you are allergic to latex, bananas, or kiwi, you may react to avocado oil. A protein in avocados is similar to natural rubber. Use extra virgin olive oil for everything instead. If you take a blood thinner like warfarin, the switch is safe. Avocado oil contains almost no vitamin K. It will not affect your clotting levels. Your doctor can confirm this. Shirley's daughter drove to her house one Saturday. She walked into the kitchen. She picked up the gallon jug, clear plastic, slightly warped from sitting next to the hot oven for 6 months. The oil inside was darker than it should have been. "Mom, look at this bottle, clear plastic, next to the oven for 6 months. This is not cooking oil anymore. This is chemistry. We are throwing it out." Shirley argued, "I have been using this for 20 years, and your father lived to 79. Her daughter said, "Dad had 2 stents at 72. Shirley was quiet. They threw it away. Her daughter bought cold-pressed avocado oil in dark glass. Shirley fried the hash browns the following Sunday. She said it smelled different. Her daughter said, "Different is not bad. Different is alive." Week 2. The heavy exhaustion Shirley felt every Sunday afternoon was lighter. The flood of toxic chemicals from the old oil that used to hit her blood after every meal was no longer coming. Week 4. Shirley walked to the mailbox in the cold Michigan spring. She braced for the chest burn. It did not come. She stood at the mailbox holding the envelopes and took a deep breath of cold air. No burn, no pressure. She stood there, trying to remember the last time cold air did not scare her. Week 6, Sunday. The family was there. Chaos. Leo dumped a bin of Legos onto the carpet. Shirley looked at the armchair. She had been watching from the armchair for 2 years. She stepped down, lowered herself onto the carpet, sat cross-legged in the middle of the plastic bricks, started building a tower with Leo. 10 minutes, 20 minutes. She leaned forward, laughed. She stopped, put her hand flat on her chest, closed her eyes. Deep breath. No pressure, no burning, just a steady heartbeat. The tiny vessels had finally opened. Leo looked up. "Grandma, you are on the floor." She smiled. "I sure am, buddy. Hand me that red brick." Her daughter stood in the doorway with a coffee mug. She watched her mother on the floor with her grandson for the first time in 2 years. She set the coffee down and walked to the kitchen so nobody would see her cry. Your next blood test could tell a different story. Not because you changed your medication, because you changed your oil. The total LDL stays the same, but the percentage of it that is poisoned drops. The artery damage markers shift. The calcium score stops climbing. The factories that make the relaxation gas start coming back online. Your spouse notices you climb the stairs without stopping. Your doctor sees the markers shift and says whatever you changed, keep doing it. Your grandchild sees you on the floor and does not remember a time when you were not. One subscriber told me she threw away 3 bottles, one from the kitchen, one from the garage, one from her mother's house. She said, if I had known what this oil was doing, I would have thrown it away 30 years ago. Another told me his cardiologist asked what changed when his artery markers dropped. He said, I changed my cooking oil. The doctor said that should not explain this. He said, well, it does. 5 things you are probably thinking. I have been cooking with this oil my entire life. So have most Americans. The advice came from the 1980s and was based on cholesterol numbers, not oxidation. You followed the best information available. The science caught up. The switch takes 5 minutes. Avocado oil is expensive. It costs more per bottle. You use less because it does not thin out at high heat. 1 bottle lasts weeks. The cost of the old oil is not measured in dollars. It is measured in stents and calcium scores, and Sunday mornings watching your grandchild play from a chair. My doctor said vegetable oil is heart healthy. Cholesterol-free does not mean artery safe. The oil has no cholesterol. It damages the cholesterol already in your blood. That distinction was not part of medical training in the 1980s. It is now. What about canola oil? Canola has fewer weak points than soybean or corn, but it is still refined, still in clear plastic, and still produces toxic chemicals when heated. Better than soybean, worse than avocado. If you can switch, switch. Can I still fry food? Yes. Avocado oil handles temperatures above 500 degrees without breaking apart. Your food will be crispy. The only difference is what happens to your cholesterol after you eat it. The oil swap stops the poison from entering your blood. But the damage from decades of poisoned cholesterol is already inside your artery walls. The plaque built over 20 or 30 years does not dissolve from switching bottles. The swap stops new damage. The existing damage needs repair. Without the full system, the new oil protects tomorrow. But the factories that were shut down need rebuilding. The vessels that are clenched need reopening. The plaque that has been building since the 1990s needs stabilizing. 1 bottle cannot do all of that. The blood pressure protocol is my ebook. It is the full system. The oil swap is one piece. The protocol builds a 24-hour system around it. The foods that rebuild the factories the old oil destroyed. The nutrients that stabilize the plaque already inside the walls. The tests that show whether the damage is holding or getting worse. You follow it. Your doctor sees the markers shift. The calcium score holds. The medication conversation changes from adding to removing. You cannot find this system in a bookstore. You cannot Google it. This is not a diet book. This is 20 years of cardiac surgery in one organized protocol. I have held these arteries in my hands. I have seen what damaged cholesterol does to a vessel wall from the inside. The protocol is built from what I have seen, not what I have read. Without it, the oil change helps. With it, the oil change becomes part of something that protects every artery around the clock. Every meal cooked in the old oil was another deposit of damage inside your walls. Every day without the full system is another day those deposits sit unchallenged. The protocol is how you start making withdrawals. Senior Health Life Daily. Free to join. Link in the description. Every morning I send you one thing that does not fit in these videos. When you join, you get a welcome email. Reply to it. Tell me which oil is sitting next to your stove right now. I read every reply personally. The link to the blood pressure protocol is in my first comment below this video. Scroll down. It is the pinned comment at the top. The person watching after you is going to scroll down and read the comments before they press play. They are looking for someone who just learned what their cooking oil does. Someone who found the clear plastic jug on their counter. Someone who did not know. Your comment is for that person. Tell me 2 things right now. What brand of cooking oil is next to your stove? And how many years it has been there? Those 2 answers might be the reason the next person walks into their kitchen tonight and throws away the bottle that has been quietly damaging their arteries for decades. Hit the like button. 1 tap puts this in front of a senior who is about to pour that oil into a hot skillet one last time. Subscribe if you have not. The next video connects directly to what you learned today. Text this to one person tonight. The one who cooks with vegetable oil every day. The one whose doctor told them to switch from butter in the 1990s. The one who still has the clear plastic jug on the counter. They deserve to know what heat does to that oil, and what that oil does to their heart. Click the video on your screen. The #1 drink that crashes blood sugar overnight. 1 glass before bed. Your morning number drops by the time you wake up. Click it. I will see you there.